What I'm trying to do through the work I'm putting out there at TYT is to get Democratic voters to understand that the voters on the other side of the aisle are not a monolith. They're not Nazis. They're not going to come for you. They're not going to imprison you. They're not going to, bust into your home with guns and murder you. Like, all of the fear mongering that was promoted on these platforms is untrue. And the only way that we're going to save this country is if we open up lines of dialogue and speak to each other again and actually see each other as human beings who might have political disagreements, who might want to engage in hot debates, and that's totally fine. But you have to see the humanity in people first. And that has been disincentivized over the last, I would say, 10 years.
Beautiful, that was beautiful, amazing speech right there by Anna Kasparian, who goes full MAGA right there and shocks Megyn Kelly talking about Mark Zuckerberg and Meta's shift toward more free speech. Let's hear it.
Can I just ask you guys about Zuckerberg for a minute? Because we haven't gotten to his appearance on Rogan yet on this show. And I do wonder, okay, it's a new administration. Trump's in power. I get it. He wants to be cozying up to the president who's in power. That makes sense to me for some of this turnaround that he's purporting to have made. But for me, Facebook is very dated. Facebook is not the cool, hip app that young people are turning to at all. When I first started at Fox 20 years ago, Rupert had just bought MySpace. And there was a question back then, which one will prevail, MySpace or Facebook? And then Facebook had its apex, and it's long past that now, right? Now it's something older people use to share photos and updates on their lives. But the younger people are on Snap, and they're on TikTok, and they're, to some extent on Insta, but it's not really Facebook. And I realize Meta also owns Insta. But my point is, how much do you think Zuckerberg is worried that his photo sharing family update piece of his platform is quickly becoming obsolete? And the one thing that was making him good money and that was doing really well, he killed, which was the news feed. He killed it for the reasons you just outlined, Anna. And now he's looking at this saying, holy shit, I had a viable business model. It was with conservatives. They were the ones who were dominating his platform when it came to news sharing. Not entirely, but they were dominating. And if I am smart, I will go back to them on bended knee and say, I'm sorry I censored you, I got rid of news, and I'm sorry I spent $425 million to elect Joe Biden. Kevin?
Honestly, Mark Zuckerberg can apologize all he wants, but I'm not so sure if we can trust him yet. All he wants is make money and be on the good side of Donald Trump, who is in power now.
Thoughts?
Well, first of all, I still think back. You're right. Facebook is kind of for the olds like me. I still think back to when I first joined Facebook. It was somewhere in 2007 or 2008 when I was working on the Romney campaign. And that was a key part of our sort of emerging e-campaign, was to be on social media. And I signed up for it. Never went back until it got our Facebook pages and some of our other social media pages had gotten hacked. And so I had to go into my page to look at it to see what the hacking issue was for the Romney campaign Facebook. And then I found there's 20 or 30 people that I went to grammar school with that were looking for me. So it was an education then. But if we fast forward,
isn't there a reason we disconnect from those people?
now I talk to them once a week. It's crazy. It is the thing that's I think is changing is that we are in this, I think, technology and workforce around technology, the tax policy, trade policy around our technology. In the next 5 years, and even the information system around technology is going to change in the next 5 years. That's really going to affect the economy of the next 25 years. And Mark Zuckerberg and Meta want to be a part of that conversation. And that is why I think he is engaging this administration, and it's smart. It would be, as a CEO, it would be an abdication of his responsibilities and duties as a CEO if he wasn't doing it with this administration. And Meta, the company that is now where the future for Meta and its sort of product and its approach is going to be in the metaverse, and a lot of that technology and a lot of the laws and the regulations related to AI and automation and all that, it is going to be written and it's going to be worked out over the next 5 years. So he needs to be at the table on that. So I think it's important for him. I think it's important, right? I think it's important for him and other leaders to make sure that they are engaged in his policymakers. The thing I thought was most important in his remarks on Joe Rogan, and remember, this is a 3-hour conversation that really got atomized down to a couple of sound bites. But one of the key sound bites was that we were at a cultural tipping point when it came to our politics and how we discuss our politics. And Trump has changed that. That's the one thing, like, as somebody who, more of a classical liberal and a small C conservative Republican in the Mitt Romney mold, has, I've become a political anthropologist of sorts since 2016 too, which is Trump has dramatically changed the profile of the party. He's dramatically changed how we campaign, how we talk about issues, how we persuade public, how we build public coalitions. And I think Zuckerberg sees a lot of that as a social sort of anthropologist on this stuff. And he's interested in learning more, and he's interested in engaging, rather than, you cannot, as a CEO or any business leader or any organizational leader, you cannot sit on the curb and clap as the parade goes by. You have to be a part of it. I think that was the main takeaway I got from that interview with Joe Rogan.
Honestly, I think Mark Zuckerberg is just kissing Trump's ring. He wants to be on the good side of Trump and not be against Trump at all, because Trump has the most power right now. So that's why he's saying the thing that he says to stay in business.
We have a little bit of that. Let's take a listen. I've got to say, I have nothing against Mark Zuckerberg, but it's somewhat galling to listen to him. Hello. There are many of us in the country who have been saying that for decades now, and you've been stifling us. Especially conservatives. His platform has been stifling conservative speech from I'm sure, the very people he's referencing there as these breaths of fresh air. Oh, well.
I 100% agree with what she's saying right there. I think Mark Zuckerberg is a complete hypocrite and he's just go with the trend. Maybe he has matured a lot. Maybe he's now realizing all of the mistakes he made in the past and want to redeem himself. But it doesn't work that way, honestly.
If only we could have heard from them earlier. Why didn't we? I have some thoughts, Mark. What do you make of it, Anna? Somebody's been in the space for a while.
My quick thought on that, though, is declare victory. Do not criticize it. Like, when you've won.
Too late.
And you
you're saying be classy. That ship has sailed.
No,
go ahead, Anna.
It's not necessarily be classy. It's like, hey, you engaged the audience, you made your case publicly, and now you've won. And I don't think it's time to sort of beat your chest on it, but it's like, take this as the opportunity for exactly what it is, which
it's fine. No, I get what you're saying. He's welcome aboard the free speech train, but
right.
Forgive me if I want to spend a few minutes, I don't want to say rubbing his nose in it, but he was wrong. He was 100% wrong in what he did. And it was un-American. It was really un-American what he and the Biden administration were doing on the stifling of speech.
Yes.
And I would have liked Anna to have heard more of a mea culpa. I was really wrong.
Yeah, I think it was very much needed for Mark Zuckerberg to apologize to everybody, and he did not, unfortunately.
And I'm really sorry. And I was 100% part of the problem before we get to the healing phase.
Yeah. Well, look, I find what he said there entirely dubious, because he had pushed for the type of culture that we're currently dealing with right now, because everything that was incentivized on his platform was the extreme ends of the political spectrum. So he says, people are really looking for the truth. Well, the people that were really promoted on your platform for a long time were individuals who were on the extreme left or the extreme right, especially when it comes to some of the cultural issues. Anyone who wanted to be reasonable, who wanted to be fair, who wanted to, go for evidence-based commentary was not really incentivized on that platform for a long, long time. And so I think that's part of the reason why you now have two political parties that have a difficult time speaking to each other. And I'm not talking about those in power. I'm talking about the actual voters. And what I'm trying to do through the work I'm putting out there at TYT is to get Democratic voters to understand that the voters on the other side of the aisle are not a monolith. They're not Nazis. They're not going to come for you. They're not going to imprison you. They're not going to, bust into your home with guns and murder you. Like, all of the fear mongering that was promoted on these platforms is untrue. And the only way that we're going to save this country is if we open up lines of dialogue and speak to each other again and actually see each other as human beings who might have political disagreements, who might want to engage in hot debates, and that's totally fine. But you have to see the humanity in people first. And that has been disincentivized over the last, I would say, 10 years.
Beautiful. She is 100% right about this. I think she could not have said it better. It's time to unite. It's time to come together. It's time to realize that sometimes the other side is right. And it's time to reunite with Donald Trump and under Trump and follow his leadership. I think he's gonna do amazing things over the coming years. We will see what happens. Hopefully, he keeps all of the promises that he made during the campaign to stop illegal immigration, to reduce inflation, boost the economy, and wars all over the world, in Europe, in the Middle East, and also bring peace and prosperity back to the American continent, European continent, and the rest of the world. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comment below this video, and click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.